Hey everybody, Captain Lou here with another Extravagant Few Minutes live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and of course on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza, and on X at the Real Captain Lou. Hey, follow us on our pages as you see at the bottom of the screen at Real Captain Lou on Twitter, or X I should say, and of course on our Facebook pages. Follow us there. And more importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to thank everybody that has done that. Our viewership is growing, and I can't thank you enough for all of that. But follow us on YouTube at the Captain Lou Sports Network. Subscribe to our channel. You get all of our great programming live and archived, including these Extravagant Few Minutes episodes. The Extravaganza with yours truly and my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. We're going to have another great episode this Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. And also, the ACHA Power Play Season 10 is going strong. We're getting close. The road to St. Louis, yeah, it's less than 2 months away to the national championships, all 5 divisions. And we're going to have another great episode of the Power Play live this Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Some great guests lined up. We'll have more on that tomorrow on our social media platform. So make sure you tune in for that. 7 o'clock Tuesday night, the ACHA Power Play. And this Extravagant Few Minutes episode, as always, is brought to you by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you get $20 off of your purchase. It's that simple. If there's a game you want to go to, NHL, NBA, college basketball, the big one coming up Friday night in East Lansing, Michigan and Michigan State, a top 10 clash. Make sure you go to SeatGeek, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you get $20 off your purchase. Hey, there's going to be Super Bowl tickets there as well. Who knows who's going to be playing in the big game in a couple of weeks. But go to SeatGeek, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It is that simple. All right, here we go. It is Conference Championship Sunday. I know a lot of you across the country, including us, are going to be bundled up in our homes this afternoon with all this crappy weather going on. So nothing better than to sit back. We're going to get fresh homemade chicken noodle soup here at the homestead. We're going to watch 2 great games this afternoon and this evening, starting off at 3 o'clock Eastern time with New England at Denver. Right now, New England is a 3.5-point favorite on the road in Denver. The over-under on this one is 43.5. So the first big question is, and I got to tell you, the more I've thought about this all week, I've had some great comments on my YouTube channel, but a lot of people are saying nobody's given Denver a chance in this one this afternoon against New England at home. And I got to tell you, the more and more I hear about how Denver doesn't have a chance, the more I'm thinking, hey, Jarrett Stidham is not that bad. He's not a stiff that was just picked up off the street. One thing to remember is Denver's got one of the best defenses in the NFL. And I think they're going to give Drake May all he can handle in this one. He struggled last week against a very, very good Houston Texans defense, and they're going to be on the road against Denver. I think Stidham's going to do a few things okay. I mean, he's not going to throw for 400 yards against this New England defense. Mike Vrabel and his defense aren't going to allow it. But I think Stidham's going to do a little better than people give him credit for. I think this is going to be a very intriguing matchup. And I think, one of the things to keep in mind on this one, Drake May, take the under on this one for passing yards at 224 at -113. And the other one that I'm going to keep an eye on is both quarterbacks I think are going to throw for an interception. And if you bet that, you're going to get plus 191. So I think those are 2 stats kind of to keep an eye on in this matchup this afternoon. I think the defenses are going to reign supreme. And if you're going to go on an over-under on this one, I would lean towards the under on this one, as it's 43.5, I think, is the over. Or I checked, okay, let's put the right game up there. All right, 43.5 is the over-under on this one. I lean towards the under on this one. As far as the point spread, I'm staying away from that point spread. It opened at 5.5. It's already down to -3.5. So, again, something to keep an eye on in this matchup as well. Again, what about Drake May? Can he handle the spotlight? And that Denver defense, we just talked about it. And I got to tell you, just again, when you think about it, when you hear everybody talk about how Stidham doesn't have a chance, with Bo Nix out, Denver has 0 chance, that's when I get a little scared and taking somebody on this one. So I'm staying away from the point spread. I think this is going to be a very close game. I'm going to give you my Presley parlay on both games here in a little bit, but I'm staying away from that 3.5 because I think it could go either way. And now finally in the NFC Championship game coming up later on after that one, the Rams are going into Seattle. The third matchup between these two teams. Both teams have won a game in this series this year. Los Angeles opening up a 2.5-point dog at Seattle. The over-under on this one is 45.5. I'm leaning towards the over on this one in this game later on today. Can the Rams playmakers, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Matt Stafford, Colby Parkinson, you name it, can they handle that Seattle defense, which I still don't think gets enough credit, by the way. That's going to be a monster defense for the Rams to go up against, and the 12th man, of course, in Seattle. Can they shine against that defense? That's going to be my first question. And then my next question, obviously, is Sam Darnold ready for the Super Bowl? He's proven a lot of people wrong, including myself, winning that playoff game, finally getting over the hump and winning that one. Now they're going to go up against a Los Angeles Rams defense that I also think doesn't get enough credit. Is Walker ready to shine? Is he ready to take the next step to lead them to the Super Bowl? You got Zach Charbonnet's not going to play. He's out with the injury. So these are two questions that I ask for either team. And the playmakers for the Rams against that Seattle defense. What about Sam Darnold? Can he continue to shine? He's going to take chances. And most of the time he's proven this year that he's been up for the challenge. So this is going to be a great matchup again between these two teams. I tend to go with Seattle in this one with that point spread. If it was a little more than 2.5, if it was 3.5, I'd go with the Rams. So again, I'm not touching this point spread. So it's going to be a very intriguing matchup this afternoon. Here's my first bet that I'm going to place on this one. Presley said she wants to make a parlay. She needs a couple of dog biscuits. It's awful cold out. She needs her belly filled. So she's going to take this four-way parlay. She's going to go with Denver plus 10.5, and we're going to go under 50.5 in that total. And also the Rams, we're going to go with them over 10.5, and we're going to go over 36.5. If you take this four-way parlay, you're going to get a positive amount, plus 140. That's kind of what we're leaning on. I don't think Denver is going to, like I said, I think everybody betting against Denver in this one has me scared. So I'm going to go with plus 10.5 and under 50.5 in that portion of the four-way parlay. I like the Rams to stay within 10.5 in this game in Seattle. I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think that 36.5 point total could be hit in the first half. So that's my parlay right there, a four-way parlay, Presley's teaser parlay. Take the points, or take it as it was. Take Denver plus 10.5, stay under 50.5 in that one, and then add the Rams plus 10.5 and over 36.5. And some interesting kind of, some prop bets, if you will. I'm going to go with Kyron Williams over 14.5 receiving yards. He's gotten over 22, I think, in each of the two playoff games. I think he's going to make at least 2 or 3 catches out of the backfield. Get him at over 14.5 receiving yards. And Colby Parkinson, he's been over 20 yards in each of the two games as well. I like him over 25.5 receiving yards as well. Both of those are at minus 115 separately. And obviously you're going to get plus odds if you take them both in a little two-way parlay on this one. But the most intriguing bet, I think, of all of them, for some reason, I think Matt Stafford is going to rush for a yard in this one. It's plus 143. I took it this morning before it changes. I don't know. Call me crazy on this one, but I'm going to throw a bone at this one. I'm going to throw a pizza pie at this one. Take Matt Stafford plus 1 rushing yard. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. I just love the intriguing bet there. Take Matt Stafford plus 1 yard rushing, or 1+ yard. All he's got to do is get 1 yard, and you get plus 143. So if you bet a sawbuck, you're going to get $14.30 on top of that $10. Why not? Just throwing it out there, having some fun with the game tonight in that one. And again, we talked about this in the other game. I like Drake May under 224 passing yards at minus 113, and both quarterbacks to throw an interception. That's, if you take both of those to throw an interception, it's plus 191. And if you take this bet right here, all three of these in a parlay. I believe it's plus 430. So that might be worth throwing a half a sawbuck, $5 on that. But I'm putting a sawbuck on both quarterbacks to throw an interception at plus 191. So just some of the bets that I'm going to be doing in both games, just something to keep an eye on. Obviously not bet the house on it, but again, should be some fun. Why not? All right, elsewhere, Mike Tomlin has been introduced as the new Steeler head coach, or it's been announced he's going to take it. I'm not sure if he's introduced, but it looks like it's going to be Mike. Oh my God, I can't believe I put that on there. All right, we're going to have to edit that one. Why did I do that one? There. Let's see if I can fix that one, right? God almighty, can you believe that? The weather's getting to me. Sorry about that. That's the magic of live television. You can catch yourself in the act. Mike McCarthy has been announced as the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the first question is begged to be asked, is this really a prime coaching job right now in the NFL? I know they interviewed 6 defensive coordinators for this position, and they still decided to go with Mike McCarthy as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The big question is, are the Steelers still a perennial playoff team, or is this going to be a reclamation project? The reason I ask this is, they've got big quarterback questions right now. Mason Rudolph is not the answer as the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Do the Steelers want Aaron Rodgers to come back? Is this a desperation move to maybe get Aaron Rodgers back for one more year? Do you want Aaron Rodgers back? Mike McCarthy will be just the 4th coach for Pittsburgh since 1969. That stat right there is absolutely mind-boggling. But is Mike McCarthy going to be the answer? Obviously, he's not going to coach for 16 to 20 years. That would put him at 80 years old. You might be able to get 6 to 8 years out of him. We know how the Steelers are. They're very loyal to their coaches. Mike Tomlin, it was kind of 50-50. He never had a losing record. I understand that. And he was able to get them to the playoffs, but they never got past the first round. They haven't won a playoff game in a decade? So, but is this really going to be the answer for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Very interested to see what everybody thinks of this one. If Mike McCarthy is definitely going to be the answer as the head coach of the Steelers. I'm a little worried about this franchise as far as where they are going forward. I mean, they're kind of like, they remind me of the Dallas Cowboys. For years, they were a 500 team, 8-8, 9-7, 7-9, 10-6, not making any hay. I just don't see the Steelers as this team that's going to be a perennial playoff success team. I mean, I think they're more of a reclamation project. I think they're old. I think their offense is stagnant, and they don't have an answer right now at quarterback, and their draft pick location is right around 20th. They're not going to get a franchise quarterback this year. So real interesting, this hire as the head coach of in the NFL of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that leads us 4 openings left right now in the NFL. You've got the Raiders, you've got the Bills, the Cardinals, and the Browns. And all 4 of these situations, obviously the Raiders, they get the number 1 pick of the draft. There's been rumors that Mike McDaniel might want to go there. Heck, there's rumors he wants to go everywhere. There's a reason why the Lions didn't take him as an offensive coordinator. I'm glad they didn't. I really like the hire the Lions did with Drew Pretzing as their offensive coordinator. The Bills, I heard that they interviewed Phillip Rivers. I mean, that's probably more of a token interview. I can't see him going from a quarterback to a head coach right away. But who knows in the NFL, right? And who knows after what their owner said, who would want to go there as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. I know they've got Josh Allen. He's probably the best quarterback in the NFL. That's probably the reason why you'd want to go there. And the Cardinals and the Browns, Kyler Murray in Arizona. And then, of course, you got that quarterback situation in Cleveland. I don't know if I'd want to touch those. It would be a good place maybe for a brand new coach, an assistant, or a coordinator. We'll keep an eye on those, obviously, but still 4 openings in the NFL for head coaching positions. All right, let's switch gears real quick. We've got the Red Wings. A big win on the road for the Wings last night against the Winnipeg Jets. Back in first place right now. Yes, I know Tampa Bay's got 3 games in hand on the Red Wings, but the Red Wings with 69 points in first place in the Atlantic Division. They took 5 out of 6 points on their 3-game road trip. That's huge for the Red Wings. They can keep winning and keep getting, staying above water as far as on the road trips. If they can continue to get 5 out of 6 points or 8 out of 10 points or whatever, obviously that's going to be a formula for success for the Red Wings to stay in their playoff march as they're trying to get in the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. As we take a quick look at the NHL standings right now, the Red Wings, as we mentioned, at 69 points, 32, 16, and 5. They got a 1-point lead over Tampa Bay, who lost yesterday. Still Tampa Bay with 3 games on hand. They're 1 point behind. And the Buffalo Sabres right now in third place in the Atlantic Division in the Eastern Conference. They're 6 points behind the Red Wings, Detroit, but Buffalo with 2 games on hand in that one. And in the Metro Division, you've got Carolina on top with 69 points. They've got a game in hand on the Red Wings as well. They've got an 8-point lead over the Penguins. Penguins with 2 games in hand on the Hurricanes. And in the West, the Avalanche still a comfortable lead over the Minnesota Wild, 8 points, and they've got 4 games in hand on the Minnesota Wild. So a comfortable lead for the Avalanche, and Dallas in third place with 67 points. And in the Pacific, the Golden Knights with a 2-game lead over the Oilers. They've got 3 games in hand on the Oilers and a 2-game cushion, or a 2-point cushion rather. And the Anaheim Ducks in third place with 57 points. And in the NBA, how about the Detroit Pistons still in first place in the Eastern Conference? They've got a game this afternoon against the Sacramento Kings. They've got a 5-game lead over Boston and 6 on the Knicks and the Toronto Raptors for first place in the Eastern Conference. Absolutely amazing. And we talked about it briefly in the beginning. Michigan and Michigan State in college basketball, men's college basketball, heading towards a big showdown, the first of 2 matchups between these 2 teams. This coming Friday night at the Breslin Center in East Lansing. This is going to be a fun matchup. Michigan right now, I believe, ranked 3rd in the country in the Associated Press. And I think Michigan State is ranked 9th or 10th. So this is going to be a top 10 matchup between these 2 teams. It's going to be a Friday night game, which I still don't know how I feel about Friday night games. Definitely don't like them in college football or during the high school football season. Kind of runs into high school basketball here locally in the state of Michigan for both for both boys and girls. I'd rather see them play on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night, but hey, it's all dictated by television. But nonetheless, these 2 teams, it's going to be one heck of a matchup between these 2 rivals, Tom Izzo and Dusty May. Wow, it's going to be exciting. I don't have a hockey game on Friday night, so I think I might be taking this one in. We'll see. But it's going to be a dynamite matchup between 2 top 10 teams. Can't wait for that one Friday night between Michigan and Michigan State. All right, that's going to do it. I think what we'll do one more time, let's give you our picks for this afternoon's games, this afternoon's this afternoon's NFL Conference Championship games. Here's our Conference Championship game bets. First, let's go with Presley's teaser parlay. Denver plus 10.5, under 50.5. The Rams at plus 10.5, over 36.5 for the total on this one. Put all 4 of these together, you get plus 140 on this matchup. Some of the other bets that I've got, some of the prop bets, I'm taking Kyron Williams over 14.5 receiving yards in their game against the Seahawks. Colby Parkinson over 25.5 receiving yards, both at minus 115 individually. Obviously, you'll get a positive bet if you make that a parlay. I'm taking Matthew Stafford plus 1 rushing yard, or 1 plus. All he's got to do is get 1 yard, and it's going to be plus 143. And finally, in the opening game, the ones that I'm going to keep an eye on, give me Drake May under 224 receiving or passing yards at minus 113. And I think both quarterbacks are going to throw a pick. If you do that, it's plus 191. All right, that's going to do it. I want to thank everybody for taking time out to be with us on your computers, on your iPhones, however you watched us around the world, right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. All right, everybody, enjoy the football games this afternoon. It should be a lot of fun. And for those of you in the nasty weather that's going on throughout the country today, please be safe, stay warm, and don't do anything crazy. If you don't have to go outside, don't. Just stay in, watch some NFL Conference Championship football on this crazy weather Sunday. All right, everybody, until next time, Captain Lou saying, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, And as always, keep your minds open. So long, everybody.